Ps5 released their brand new warp server, and it is not doing too well on the cataclysmic dailies. On its first day, 3,500. That's very small. That's quite small for an MMO. On day 2, it peaked at roughly 2,500 players. That's a 1,000 per player decrease in 24 hours. Day 3, it's struggling to peak beyond 2 days. Day after day, this game is losing leading players.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you something. We don't care. Jerry.
I don't really care what anybody says. I've been having a blast on the Warp server. But what even is Tower Fantasy? Tower Fantasy is a sci-fi themed, free-to-play, anime-inspired, open-world MMORPG. Holy shit, that's a lot to say. It blends fast-paced action combat with gacha-style progression. Well, not anymore. The gacha's done for. Basically, this was trying to be Genshin Impact, but online, with way less polish, but I would say funner combat. It was supposed to be a competitor to Genshin Impact for players who wanted a more combat-focused, grindy style of game, but it failed to hold its player base due to greed and incompetence, I would say. That's the best way for me to put it. However, the Warp server changed everything. So what has really changed with this game though? Well, a lot, but not a lot at the same time. Let me explain. Basically, if you had issues with power creep or monetization in this game, I think it's worth taking a second look at. However, if the buggy nature of the gameplay, the hard UI on console, the fact that the story skips 5 to 10 minutes into the game to a whole nother region out of nowhere, if all that was a deal breaker for you, then yeah, a lot of that jank is still here. But hear me out. Sure, there's a ton more polished gacha games you could be playing right now, but the thing is, Tower Fantasy officially dropped its gacha. Well, sorta. Like, the thing is, you can roll for a free character daily. There's no money required. You just have to log in every day, and that makes it better than majority of the gacha games out there, if you ask me. On top of that, you can earn a chance to roll additionally based on gameplay. Basically, there's this thing called rift shards, if I'm correct, and you can earn up to 50 of these per day, and once you get 100, you get another roll at the gacha. So essentially, you can earn yourself another roll in 2 days on top of the free rolls you're getting. All accessories and mounts are also obtainable through gameplay. Also, there's a whole trading economy, so you can buy and sell different products, pretty much everything in the game, including outfits, mounts, resources, weapons. I think people can still outright buy another roll at the gacha, though I think there is a limit on this. I mean, they got to make money off this somehow, but the playing field is a lot more level. I honestly don't even know what happened to the 4 stars in this game though. I think they got wiped off the existence of the planet, which is like good riddance anyway. But matrices also got deleted from the game. Good riddance. The way like mounts, outfits, and accessories are farmed is basically you can get like shards of certain items from certain activities, from killing bosses to joint operations to fishing. And once you get enough, you can fuse them into whatever item you want, whether it be like a vehicle or a relic, which relics are like gadgets in this game. It's a long story. There is a stamina system, but that just means you get more loot at the end of whatever activity you're doing. You can still do things without stamina, although you do need stamina for the life choices. It has its own separate stamina, and that's its own system. Basically, you can pick 2 specialties, and the more you interact with these mechanics, the more things you can do. Like, say, if you pick the crafting life skill, the more you use it, the more different types of things you can craft. If you pick the cooking skill, the more different types of food you can cook. Basically, kind of adding a more MMO lived-in aspect of the game. Your character even has a hunger bar. They get debuffed if they get too hungry, and you can add buffs when you eat, so keep that in mind. Another great and underrated aspect of Tower Fantasy is the online interaction. You're basically playing one of these open world gacha games but with other people, and for the most part people are pretty wholesome and friendly, ready to answer any question you ask. Just don't start talking about random gachas in the chat, unless that's your thing. Unless you're into like endlessly arguing with strangers, maybe that's your thing. I don't really know. To this day, people are still arguing if Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact is better in the chat. It just never gets old. The visuals and graphics have apparently been updated in the first region. I don't really know. I'm not that fond of this place. I like the other areas and worlds. I mean, the sheer amount of different areas you can travel to, I feel like these developers deserve a bit of credit for. Graphically speaking, not the best looking, but artistic design, I do kind of quite enjoy the game at times. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm looking at some pretty interesting areas and worlds, because the world building in this game is like you're traveling different planets. which I find hella interesting. Like one day you'll be in that open world post-apocalyptic area, the first starting area. Next thing you know, you're in like the desert. Next thing you know, you're in like a neon cyberpunk city overlooking the desert, just floating over the desert. This is pretty cool stuff. And I understand the first areas kind of look generic, but as you go along, shit looks more interesting. Gameplay wise, it's a mixed bag. It plays kind of like a prototype pseudo Wuthering Waves with like really janky controls. It's very floaty and light, and controls don't have, like, attacks don't have that much impact. But I mean, this is more of a problem with the earlier weapons, especially the ones they start you off with. But as you roll the later units, you'll see like the gameplay feels a little better, but you're never gonna quite get rid of that MMO jank that comes with this game. It's nowhere near as smooth as like the single player open world gachas out there. But I mean, when has MMO combat ever been on par with like a single player AAA game? You know what I mean? Either way, that might be a deal breaker for some of you. I like how it feels like I'm playing one of those open world gachas, but at the same time I'm playing online with other people. It does feel a bit dated and unresponsive at times though, for sure. But the core gameplay is definitely there. It might not look pretty, but it's funner than it looks. Story wise, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. It's probably one of the worst features of this game, and that's saying much. The issue is that the game abruptly just takes you from one chapter to the other chapter, mainly to skip and streamline the gaming experience, because apparently the first part of the chapter drags on for very long. However, they don't really fill you in on what happened in between those two chapters, which is like a big dissidence. And you know, a lot of the reasons people play these anime games or gacha related games is the story. And for some, the expectations are not that high. They just need a competent story. And this game can't really even congruently tell a story at times. So yeah, it's a huge missed opportunity there. I mean, I won't lie, when I got into Domain 9, I was half paying attention, and the story does get more grounded and interesting. I won't say it's good, but I mean, it's like interesting enough to keep you from skipping, as long as the voice lines aren't cut or missing. What I'm trying to say is it does get slightly better as you go along, but yeah, the first two chapters I really thought dragged and were not very good. And I mean, when has an MMO story ever been that good? It's nowhere when you meet, that's for sure. When it comes to sound and music design, again, like the moment-to-moment combat does not feel or sound as good as the other gachas. It's really immersive, breaking at times, but the music can actually be pretty good at times. So overall, I think turning the game into the MMO will allow this game to be the game it was always meant to be. It might be too late for the reputation of this game, and given the endless sea of competition coming out, it will find a small niche audience among people who play gacha games despite the gacha in the games rather than for the gacha in the games. Someone who's sick of games like Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves, but is also open to the idea of playing with other players and legitimately playing the game to get what you want. Crazy concept for a gacha game. And yeah, when it comes down to it, it's nowhere that wins me, which is just a fact, but still, I somehow find myself playing this game when I could be playing that game. So that's just something to think about. I think that counts for something. Anyway, that's the end of my review. I hope it helped you. Anyway, that's it.